welcome to Binging with Badness, the only podcast that is calling you about your car's extended warranty. We have made several attempts to reach you. My name is Mitchell McIntyre.
And I'm Vanessa Vogel.
And this is the main event of the evening. 4 films, 1 fight, Godzilla versus Kong. Only on HBO Max and also theaters, but don't go to a theater right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So yeah, this is what it all comes down to. We finally gave it a shot. We just watched it on HBO Max on like literally the last day we could. Mm-hmm. So this is the big one. And honestly, coming into it, I wasn't too like crazy hyped. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because all of these movies, barring Skull Island, mm-hmm. have essentially been human stuff, 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 a little bit of monster, human stuff, human stuff, human stuff, human stuff, human stuff, a little bit of monster as a treat.
Well, the monsters cost money, you see.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, I was pretty sure I knew how this was going to happen. The same way all of these team-up movies happen. They fight each other for a scene, a bigger bad guy comes up, we fight him instead. It happened in Avengers, it happened in Batman vs. Superman, it happened in Civil War, kind of. Mm-hmm. Like, it always goes down like that.
That's true.
So, to me, this movie had a lot of... It had a lot of things that's, like, you know, not in its favor. But I don't know, what about you? What were you feeling coming into this?
I had one expectation. I want to see monster smash.
Yes.
I did not care what your boring human nonsense was.
God, there's so much of it in this movie.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, you could literally, like, put it just Millie Bobby Brown telling me about her day, and I wouldn't know the difference. Like,
You're so right, too.
And...
oh, God, we'll get into it, but it so doesn't matter.
And, like, I am here for the people on the name of the card. I'm here for Godzilla. I'm here for Kong. You can insert your boring human nonsense. I will not pay attention.
Yeah.
So you better give me what's on the label.
Yeah. So this, like I said, this movie was walking on the line. But let me tell you what this movie's about, like you don't already know.
The same opinion.
The myths are real. Yeah. There was a war. And they're the last ones standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
Who bows to who?
Nobody gon' stop for me. Here we go.
Kong bows to no one.
Here we go.
Godzilla vs. Kong is a 2021. This is our first movie we've ever done coming out of this year.
Oh.
This is our very first 2021 film. This is our very first movie that came out as we were doing the series.
Woo!
It is an American monster film directed by Adam Wingard. I'll get to him. It is a sequel to King of the Monsters and Kong Skull Island. It is the 4th film in the Monsterverse, the 36th film in the Godzilla franchise, the 12th film in the King Kong franchise, and the 4th Godzilla film to be completely produced in Hollywood.
Really?
Yes, this is true.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The film stars Alexander Skarsgard, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Shun Oguri, Kyle Chandler, Lance Reddick, and Lance Reddick. Good for Lance Reddick. Mm-hmm. In the film, Kong clashes with Godzilla as humans lure the ape to the Hollow Earth, which we talked about in Skull Island, to retrieve a power source for a weapon to stop Godzilla's mysterious rampages. For whatever reason, Godzilla's pissed, and we want to stop that. We don't ever really know why he's pissed.
Because we pissed him off.
Outside of maybe he knows Kong is here, and we don't like that.
Look, Godzilla mad.
Godzilla mad. That's, long and short of it. Directed by Adam Wingard, who you might not know right off the top of your dome. But I have some bones to pick with Adam Wingard. Mm-hmm. He is famous for doing a movie called Autoerotic, which is done by Joe Swanberg.
Okay.
Which is basically a mumblecore film with Albus Mumblecore himself.
You can't see it, but I'm making a face.
Yeah, Mumblecore is a brand of indie movies that's done like very low budget, very quiet, very quippy dialogue. The best description is probably any of Lena Dunham's work. Do you know who Lena Dunham is?
No.
Did you ever hear the movie or the television show Girls?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, that's her.
I see.
So Lena Dunham, who oh boy, I got words about Lena Dunham. They're very like, I'm 23 and life will never be this hard.
Even though I've got a roof over my head and a job and everything.
Yeah, just I won't go to my mother for money because I am my own person. Shut the fuck up.
We have a lot of problems with rent.
I have a lot of problems with Rent and the movie Reality Sucks or Reality Bites.
And also the concept of rent, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, so Joe Swanberg is like the master of this, or as I like to call him, Albus Mumblecore.
I see.
And Adam Wingard, he did this. He did a movie called The Guest. He did a movie called What Fun We're Having, 4 stories about date rape.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. He did a movie, he did Blair Witch, which is a sequel to the original 1990s Blair Witch movie.
I see.
This came out a couple years ago. I do not know if it was any good, but I just made the startling realization that there's 3 of them, so it qualifies for this show.
No, it does not.
Fuck.
Nope. Pass. Unless you guys want to pay money for it. But otherwise.
Once again, $100 is all you need for us to do any movie you want.
That's true.
And the big one, this is what really set me off. When I found out he was doing this movie, I was upset. Death Note.
The live action one.
The live action Death Note. Light Turner.
Oh, God.
Now,
okay.
I'm not sorry, do you want to take this?
No, go for it.
I'm not a huge anime fan. I like very few of them. And I did not know much about Death Note before I watched the film. But I have seen the series after I watched the movie. And I did a lot of research about it before. And Death Note, the live action Death Note, starring Nat Wolff.
Sure.
And Willem Dafoe.
The real tragedy of this, Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, who's genius.
He was a great choice for you. Also, this is a terrible movie.
Yeah, he was really good as... I gotta think of his character's name.
I just said it.
Yeah, I know, but... I was talking over you because I'm a white man and I needed to get my point across.
Another man tries to censor me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You want me to tell you?
Ray...
You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay. He's Ray Jack? Ray?
No.
Wreckage?
Nope.
Rejik? Shokugeki?
Nope.
Shin Megami Tensei?
No, you're actually getting farther away. Surprisingly.
Ryuk?
Yes.
Ryuk!
Good job.
And he's called, like, his demon is a Shingama? Shingami?
Shingami, yeah.
Shingami? I got it?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been that happy. Anyway, point is, that movie's a piece of shit.
If you guys ever want to play a quiz a white dude about anime, here we are.
Yeah, I know very little. I know a lot about movies.
I know a lot about anime.
I know a lot about movies. I know a lot about, like, live action, usually Western films.
I know about things from the East.
And I know some stuff about anime, but it's almost all by osmosis.
Hi.
Yeah. So, like, she'll talk about it, and I'll listen, and I'll take it in. But it's, like, about... I know a little about, like, a wide swath of stuff. So, like, I might know one character's name in Attack on Titan, but I know everybody who was on the Bebop. I know, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird stuff like that.
You can name at least 3 people from Attack on Titan.
Eren?
Yeah. And whose name does he shout?
Okay, Eren's the main character, right?
Correct.
Armin
Yeah.
is a little yellow-haired kid.
Uh-huh.
And...
There you go. You got the main trio. That's all that matters.
That's not going to sound good on the thing. I'm very sorry.
No, it's okay. Here we are.
Anyway, we went off on a thing, but the point is, that movie sucks, and he did this, and it made me scared. However, this movie broke several pandemic box office records. If for whatever reason you're listening to this in the year 2044, in the year 2020, we had a global pandemic that we have never seen the likes of before.
And we pray we will never see again.
And we closed all theaters. Everything stopped for a while. We're just kind of getting out of it now. We are filming this on April 30th, 2021. You're watching this somewhere in May.
And somewhere someone's listening to this going, they don't know yet.
Yeah, right? We just got our second vaccination.
Yeah, go get your vaccinations, nerds.
So we're almost on the outside. You know, I can feel the light at the end of the tunnel. So movies, like, it's been a very, very strange year for movies. And this one broke a ton of pandemic box office records, grossing $406 million worldwide against a break-even point of $330 million, making this the third highest grossing film of 2021. It is also a streaming hit. That's just from theaters. This is the most successful launch film on HBO Max ever.
Oh, good for HBO Max.
Yeah.
How does it compare to, like, a normal release from a...
This is actually pretty solid.
Okay.
406 million is not bad, especially considering the times.
I see.
I would imagine, had theaters been open,
Yeah.
by the time this thing came to an end, and remember, this film just came out about a month ago,
I see.
I could see it scraping $1 billion, like, scraping the floor.
I see. Okay. Okay. Maybe it'll have a surge once everyone gets vaccinated. That's
knows?
right. Get vaccinated. Go see the movie.
Who knows?
Vaccination first.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. It's a very weird time, but Godzilla vs. Kong seems to be the movie that's taken the step out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when this year comes to an end. We should do like a year-end, like a look back.
Yeah, all right.
See what that's like. Anyway.
Yeah.
But before we get to there, we gotta go through here. And if there's nothing else, kids,
Curtain up.
curtain up. We start somewhere on Skull Island. That's literally what it says.
Yep.
Somewhere on Skull Island.
Yeah. There's a lot of on-screen text with this movie.
There
You're
is.
just gonna have to roll with it.
Where Kong is waking up and getting ready for his day.
Yeah, he's sleeping on, like, what I assume is a waterfall. The same way I sleep on a couch. Just splayed out. Just like, wow.
I didn't know how this movie was gonna, like, start. I didn't expect it to be this. It's like Kong just, like, wakes up, yawns, scratches himself, goes into a shower, cleans himself off.
I see Kong on it, and my first note in my notes is, sure, why not?
Yeah. And then he's just like, he walks up, he starts hanging out with a little girl.
From
Her name is Gia. She is basically the last of her kind when the storm wiped everybody out from the end of Kong. She's basically the last one, and she's adopted by her, I guess, adopted mother.
Science Lady. Their names aren't important. They're stupid humans.
So Gia comes out and talks to Kong. Gia is deaf and she cannot speak, so she does sign language to communicate to everybody, including Kong. Mm-hmm. And so Kong is just kind of like walking, and like he's kind of pissed off for some reason. So he takes a big stick and he just hawks it into the air, and the sky cracks.
It's not a big stick. It's a tree.
It's a tree, excuse me. And the sky cracks. Like that scene in the video game Prey.
Or like that one time in the Hunger Games.
Or in the Hunger Games, yeah. Skull Island is under a dome. It is basically inside a facility. And the dome projects a sky.
And Kong is wildly aware of it.
Yeah, Kong is in captivity and he's not happy. And if you're wondering why, it's because Godzilla's looking for him.
He's basically in Witsec.
Yeah, so we found out at the end of Kong Skull Island in the scene after the credits that this Kong-Godzilla war has been raging for eons. Not specifically through these two, but Kong's kind and Godzilla's kind have been fighting for years.
Mongoose and Snakeus. Snakeus?
Snakeus.
What the hell's wrong with me?
So as the mongoose and the snakeus, they fight, and it's bad. So they're hiding Kong in this tub because Godzilla's pissed for some reason right now,
And he's taking it out on everybody.
And so they feel if Kong and Godzilla fight each other, whoever wins, we lose. So keep him out of here because we cannot contain Godzilla. So the credits roll and we talk about Brooks's Hollow Earth theory from Skull Island. Basically, that there's inside the Earth's core is a world where all these titans live. It sounds dumb. Anyway, Bernie.
Yep.
So here we begin the boring part of the movie.
The people.
Bernie Hayes is an employee of Apex Cybernetics. He is played by Paperboy. Paperboy. All about that Paperboy.
Chill.
And he is a host of an Alex Jones-esque conspiracy theory podcast about Titans. Titans, Godzilla, and Kong, they're Titans. And he, works at Apex Cybernetics. Has been for 5 years, essentially as, an undercover thing. By the way, it's been 5 years since we beat King Ghidorah in King of the Monsters. I didn't mention that. That comes in important. 5 years since we killed the three-headed thing. So he's, sneaking in and finally trying to get information off this computer. He finds out that they're shipping something to Hong Kong.
And they do not have security cameras for shit in this megacorp.
Yeah, nobody finds anything for anybody.
Paperboy sneaks through this entire movie, and he is not a small or stealthy man.
Yeah.
And nobody picks up his scent.
Yeah, Brian, is it Brian Tyree?
Sure.
Or Brian Henry Tyree? Brian Tyree. Brian Tyree Henry is a big dude. You've seen him. He's a very funny man. He's not funny in this movie, but usually he's a very funny man. He's very affable. This movie just destroys him. It's just...
Well, we're not here for him.
I know, but God, they give him nothing to do.
We're not here for you.
So, as he's taking some information, the Titan alarm goes off.
What?
Which basically means Godzilla's attacking. Unlike Godzilla, the 2014 version we did first, this is Godzilla. We're 5 minutes in, and there he is!
Hey, buddy!
Which I appreciate. And Godzilla's seemingly attacking at random. We don't know why, but he seems to be attacking at random, and we gotta find out why. But first we gotta calm this big lizard ass down. So we start shooting him with jets and stuff, but that ain't working because it never does.
Makes us feel better.
And Godzilla's just stomping through, stomping around Tokyo City like a big playground.
Yeah, he's curb stomping Florida. And I'm just like, why do you have a city in the attack zone of Godzilla? Yeah. And then I remembered, oh, right, it's Florida, where it's a no man's land of crazy people.
Yeah, right? You're like, whose dumb ass idea was this? All right, Florida. So Bernie takes the information and tries to run out, and he kind of gets stopped by security. He doesn't have his proper badge work, so he tries to talk his way out of it, but he doesn't have to because Godzilla sends a nuclear beam out and just annihilates those two guys.
Yeah.
Through the building, and it knocks Bernie backwards. Somehow he survives.
You're welcome.
But those other two guys are absolutely fucking vaporized. The news has turned on Godzilla. Oh, by the way, when the thing breaks, he finds something. It's big, it's red, it's glowy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the news has turned on Godzilla, because once he was seen as a hero and a god, the king of the monsters, he's now kind of gone nutty against humanity. Maddie, played by Billy Bobby Brown, who was somehow 17.
Yeah.
She was 11 2 years ago.
11.
Literally, yeah. But wasn't she was a child just yesterday, and all of a sudden now she's almost 18.
Yeah.
Oh boy. By the time Stranger Things Season 4 comes out, these kids are going to be in their 30s.
Yeah, Season 5 is just their kids going on adventures. 11's...
Finn Wolfhard is balding.
Yeah. And it's about how their kids play D&D and now need to go fight monsters. It's the whole thing.
Cute. Anyway, she's in this movie. She is an avid listener of Bernie's podcast. She turned the way of conspiracy theories hardcore once her mother died. You guys remember back in Godzilla King of the Monsters, she was just her mom was just a straight up terrorist.
Yeah, her mom's a terrorist.
Like real bad
Let's
person.
not mince words here. That lady is a terrorist.
Yeah.
Like,
her father is Kyle Chandler. What up, coach?
Hey, buddy.
He's taken the betrayal of his wife really well. And he is now fully against Godzilla because of all the murder.
I mean, he has a point.
That's no, absolutely. But he said, like, she's like, oh, clearly there's something wrong with him. This is not the Godzilla we know. Something's wrong. And he says, no, monsters like people can change. This is the end of Kyle Chandler. Like, he appears maybe 2 more times.
Yeah, when, like, Millie Bobby Brown's character keeps trying to call him to be like, hey, I'm in blank.
Hey, I'm in Hong Kong.
Come get me. And the signal's just bad. And I don't know if he survives this movie. He
does. We see him at the end.
Do we?
Yep.
Because he doesn't have any more lines after this.
He really doesn't. Because he's not the main character in this film. Alexander Skarsgard is. He plays Dr. Nathan Lind. I will probably only call him Alexander Skarsgard because the names don't matter.
Yeah.
He gets a visit by somebody who is really into the Hollow Earth theory, which is championed by Lind. He wrote several books about it, but people think he's a moron. Alongside Serizawa's son.
Hey, buddy.
Did we know he had a son?
Maybe it's a people thing. I wasn't paying attention.
I was going to say, I don't remember. Anyway, Serizawa died in King of the Monsters because he finally got to say hi to Godzilla. I don't know, it was weird.
I don't know. Stuff happened.
So anyway, they're here. Basically, they want to go into the Hollow Earth because down there is some kind of power source that could just run the world. Like, that's all it is. We get there, we find it, we have infinite power. Problem is, the Hollow Earth is smack dab in the middle of the Earth. And there is a gravity shift. Gravitational inversion has killed everybody that's tried to go down there. Up to and including Lynn's brother. So he's a little bit shaky on this whole thing. But Apex, this guy is the leader of Apex, has created a ship that can essentially deal with the inversion. So why not? Let's do this. So here's our idea. We bring Kong to the Hollow Earth. Because we don't know what's down there and he's big.
And he lives there,
and
so...
yeah, he might live there. And so he'll go down, grab the power source, we take it from him, and we leave.
Which, on its face, is still an incredibly flawed plan.
Yeah. So we cut to Kong in chains on a boat, and they're just like, oh, he's on like a battleship, and they're just like going to Antarctica because that's where the portal is. So, and like Godzilla, he's kind of doped up, or I'm sorry, Kong is kind of doped up, but he's like still kind of conscious. So he's just kind of like looking like, what's happening?
I don't believe there's enough trank on Earth to trank him successfully.
No.
Like, I think we had to grab him while he was sleeping and or hungover for this whole plan to work.
Yeah.
Like, how that's not possible. Like, you can't tell me that you can just convince a gorilla to come with you onto a boat.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, right? So this was their idea. What's her name? The science lady. Is like, hi, this is stupid. The reason why we keep Kong in this big structure is because if he leaves, Godzilla's coming for him, and then we're all fucked.
Yeah,
what do we do?
He has to stay in the Truman Show bubble, or else we die.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, no, I get it, I understand. But here's what you don't... Here's my plan. We bring him there really fast, and we just avoid Godzilla water. And he's just like, yeah, okay. Good, cool, good idea, everyone. Everyone's getting medals for this. So, we're like 48 hours away. We bring the kid who we don't know can talk to Kong.
No.
Nobody knows it but her.
She's just deaf and cute.
Yeah. So, like, Kong kind of wakes up, and he's sort of freaking out, because, hey, I'm in chains.
I, too, would freak out.
So she goes down and like puts her hand on his like giant finger and starts signing to him, just like, hey, what's wrong? Kong is sad because he's no longer at home. He's not on Skull Island, which isn't really his home. That's just kind of where we put him.
But he found a comfy spot on a waterfall, so, you know.
And so she sounds like, hey, you're here to help us, and we're here to help you. But Kong doesn't believe that. He's been through this shit too much. But Gia's mother kind of looks at her just like, hey, can't help but notice you're signing to the big gorilla. How long have you been able to do that? And she's like, I've been trying to communicate with him for years. Why didn't you tell me? And she says, basically, Kong asked me not to because he fears people would use it against him. The only person Kong seems to trust is Gia because she's indigenous to the island. So, you know, that's a kind of an interesting twist. This makes sense. Both Kong and Godzilla have like soft spots for children.
Yes, they can talk to ones of pure of heart.
Yeah, basically. So that's what we're looking at here. Meanwhile, back in the boring part of the movie, Maddie and her friend Josh, who was not in the first movie, they go track down Bernie to join in his investigation. Bernie doesn't believe them until she mentions her mother.
There was a brief cameo by Ronnie Chang. What up, dude?
Yeah, always nice to see him. And so they just kind of like immediately they're together. Now, Maddie, Bernie, and Josh, this storyline is boring and useless.
Yes.
Like, it is a complete and utter waste of time on everybody's behalf.
I think they were trying to add levity with him being, like, a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And also the fact that he's already pretty funny. So...
I was going to say, I get that. I do. But, like, not only is this... Are they, as a trio, useless? The poor kid who plays Josh is I believe he's New Zealand.
Okay.
Or Maori. I'm not sure. He was in Hunt of the Wilder People.
Sure.
In a group of useless people, he is the most useless.
Well, he's here so we can exposit at something other than each other.
Basically, he's like a hacker, so like if they ever come into it, like he figures it out. But when it's supposed to happen, he doesn't do anything.
Spoiler
Alert, but who cares? So both Bernie and Maddie believe that these attacks are not random and Godzilla attacked the Apex plant on purpose. Can't imagine why. So, back with Eileen and Gia, they kind of figure that after the storm wiped out her people, Kong took this as like a guardianship role. It is my job to protect her. The same way Alana did. Or Eileen did, excuse me.
Is that her name?
Yes.
Oh.
So, there's this weird kind of like kinship. And they, you know, as they talk, they're just like, I believe that's the sole reason why Kong hasn't destroyed us. Because, like, the fact that we are still currently floating on a boat with a giant monkey, the reason we're not dead is because of her, is Gia and her connection with Kong. You're going to find that, or I found anyway, that this movie is much more of a Kong film than it is a Godzilla film.
Yeah, we don't really get an explanation on Godzilla's mental state. Like, we don't have anyone following Godzilla.
Yeah.
He just shows up, fucks everything up, and leaves.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's a better movie for it.
You think so?
I think Kong is a more interesting character than Godzilla.
Is it because Kong also already had, like, 2 movies, and Godzilla already has 2 movies,
yeah,
and Kong only had, like, 1. So, to level the playing field a little bit, you know?
It might be. But also, I just think because Kong is more emotive, it's easier to pin a storyline on Kong than it is on Godzilla.
That's fair.
Which is why we need the human part of this movie. Which is unfortunate.
It's truly unfortunate. But did we need the Millie Bobby Brown part of the story?
No. That's like, this movie is 2 hours long. Without it, we'd probably get it down to an hour and a half.
Like, you could have added 30 more minutes of fight scene.
30 more minutes of monkey fighting.
Monkey fighting.
Speaking of which, so Gia is sitting kind of in her room on the boat. She feels the side of the boat and she can feel something. She gets up and runs. She runs to Eileen, and she starts signing. And Skarsgard is like, hey, what's wrong? It's like, what's she saying? She turns to him and goes, Godzilla. Incoming!
Okay, how did Godzilla sneak up on us, guys? Like,
Yeah.
you guys are very clearly the Navy. There's army fatigues. These are battleships. How did a giant lizard sneak up on you guys?
Godzilla is the size of a skyscraper.
And has the weight of a planet. How did you miss that?
The only person to find that was Gia. And the other thing is, you were looking for him.
Yeah. Do you guys not know how to use radar? What's happened here? Did they send out the worst soldiers just in case?
I guess. Just in case they lose them all.
Yeah.
So we figured out Godzilla isn't coming for the ship. It's coming for Kong. So everything else is completely useless. So Godzilla comes in. Godzilla's aquatic, right? So it comes in and just barrels headfirst into a battleship, splitting it in two. And just starts tail whipping jets out of the air. And then in the back is the Godzilla theme. That's what I wanted, man. Give me that.
I have a note here that says, well, everyone on that ship is dead. And those planes. And those ships, too.
Yeah. So Kong is like thrashing against his chains, but he can't get loose. So in comes Godzilla, and he just like headbutts the ship, causing it to capsize. Kong gets himself free, and we have our first collision between Kong and Godzilla underwater.
Yep.
Here's the problem. Underwater is Godzilla's house.
Yes.
Godzilla is aquatic. Kong is a big monkey.
Yep.
So he flips the ship over to save Gia, and then uses the other battleship. Like he climbs up on the ship and then jumps from ship to ship like lily pads.
Yeah.
And he's using that to chase down Godzilla, who's swimming really quickly away.
And fucking hucks a airplane at Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you!
It's like Godzilla surfaces. So Kong grabs his ship from the battleship he's on, or grabs a jet, and just hucks it at Godzilla.
And there was a guy in there, and he's just like, well, I'm out.
Bail. And like it hits him in the eye, and like Godzilla's just like, ow, fuck. Hey. So Godzilla comes up, like starts clawing up the ship and trying to get onto his same level. So like as he stands up, Kong hits him in with a right hook to the face. So Godzilla, he stumbles for a bit, hits him with a left cross, knocking the monkey down to the ground, but Kong retaliates with an uppercut, knocking Godzilla into the water. Godzilla swims underneath the boat he's on and fires a nuclear laser upwards to split the thing in two. But Kong jumps away just in time. But because he's in the water, Godzilla grabs him by the leg and starts to drag him deeper and deeper underwater. But Kong drop kicks him.
So fucking
Hits
cool,
him with an
guys.
underwater drop kick to try to swim away. Knowing that they can't kill Godzilla and they shouldn't kill Kong, they figure out a way to stun Godzilla to help out Kong a little bit by sending down depth charges into the water. The ensuing shockwave gets Kong free as he surfaces right before basically drowning. He climbs up onto the ship. He is exhausted but alive. Gonna call this one 10-9 for Godzilla.
That was really good, especially the part where he fires the laser into the air and Kong is just jumping away from it because even monkeys get cool men don't look at explosions. But my only qualm with this entire fight scene is not them, but the people. Because the Navy doesn't think to use charges to try to stun the damn lizard. It has to be pointed out by Science Lady. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? You're the goddamn Navy.
The military?
They really sent the worst ones, didn't they?
This one scene is better than Godzilla 2014.
This is true.
Like, Godzilla 2014 was great in the last 30 minutes. But this is what I wanted.
Yes.
So Godzilla begins to circle back. And so they cut the ship, all the power, to basically look like they've died. Kong is essentially unconscious on the boat. And it works because Godzilla sees it and fucks off for a bit. And Kong gets the chance to recuperate.
And he needs a nap.
Yeah, so we're in a bit of a pickle because we cannot boat the big bastard to the Antarctic. So we're gonna fly the big bastard to the Arctic.
This is the ridiculous shit I live for.
Yeah.
Like, yes, let's get all the helicopters and fly this giant gorilla to the Antarctic.
So they tried to just not swim in the Godzilla part, which didn't work. So they were like, we're still 48 hours away from Antarctica. Mm-hmm. We can't, like, he's gonna come back, and then we're just screwed. Mm-hmm. So we get the helicopters. Meanwhile, in the much less interesting storyline, Bernie and co. sneak into the wrecked Apex base and discover a secret facility underground. They are inadvertently locked into an underground monorail, like, transport thing, and away they go to Hong Kong.
Bye!
So while they're there, they stumble on, like, a bunch of kind of weird stuff, including skull crawler eggs. Skull crawlers were those, like, little things from Kong Skull Island. Mm-hmm. And they find this weird magnetic vehicle that can travel upwards to 1,000 miles an hour. This is called a heave, and that's what's going to get us to the Hollow Earth. Mm-hmm. These skull crawler eggs never come back.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah. The thing that the other thing fights. When they're like, open the pod bird doors, and then the thing comes out. And...
Oh. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It'll make sense in a minute, guys.
Yeah,
don't worry.
no, it's not that interesting. So Kong is having the worst day of his life. Mm-hmm. As he's unconscious, he's drugged, and they have him connected to about a dozen helicopters. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And they fly him to Antarctica.
And now he's cold.
One of my favorite parts about this movie is how expressive and emotive Kong is. Like I said, we can't really see emotion on Godzilla's face. Mm-hmm. All he knows is anger.
That's true. And sleepy times in the first one where I wanted to pet him.
Yeah. And in this movie, like, Kong, they drop him on the Arctic floor. Mm-hmm. And Kong, like, wakes up. And he does the thing where he, like, looks around and he's just like, all right. He's got, like, a look on his face like, and here I am.
All right.
This is how my day is going. Which is probably why I took Kong's side in this movie. Mm. So, he wakes up, kind of confused, mostly curious. And he looks for Gia. Gia's inside, like, a base. And he's like, hey, what are we doing here? And she points him to the Hollow Earth tube. Mm-hmm, like, you go down there, you get to the Hollow Earth. And Kong is like, nope. That's weird. Take me home. Problem is, Godzilla killed everybody but us. We got one ship, and it's this one. Basically, this is a one-way trip for Kong. Because if he doesn't go in there, he will not survive in Antarctica.
Because Antarctica.
Because it's Antarctica. So you either go in there or you die. Mm-hmm. So they kind of talk that over. Eileen is like, hey, why don't we tell him that's home? His family might be down there. Mm-hmm. And so Gia's like, I guess. And so she signs to him that's his home. That's where he's from. He can find his family. To which he's like, hell yeah, let's go. He take that as a good thing and hauls ass down that tube.
Yeah, he really just guns it. Just like, well, later, nerds!
We get into the heave with everybody, and some bad guy who works for Apex is the daughter of the guy who talked to Alexander Skarsgard.
Yeah, she was on the ship. It doesn't matter.
I didn't mention her because she will not matter. So they follow Kong into the Hollow Earth wormhole, which was a cool kind of spot.
Yeah, we were in the time-space continuum for a second.
Yeah, it lasted a little bit too long. It is very flashy. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, flashing lights and colors and swirling.
Yeah, if you're sensitive to that, I wouldn't. I'd close your eyes or something.
That's a rough one.
But it's very pretty if you're not.
Very pretty, yeah. So they get spat out onto the other side and see an entire ecosystem. It honestly looks a little bit like Skull Island. But in the middle, like, there's a big... It's kind of strange... It's like two Earths sandwiched on top of each other.
Yeah, because you have to remember, there's no sky here.
Yeah.
We're in the center of the Earth, which raises a question of how the hell's there sunshine down here?
No, don't think about it. So yeah, there's ground, and then there's an inversion point in the middle. So as they go down, gravity starts to invert, so it freaks them out, and they try to fly their way out of it. They've got a ship. Kong doesn't. He's just raw dogging this shit. And is trying his best to kind of focus. So down here, there is just like all manner of creatures. It's almost dinosaur-like.
Yep. There's flying lizard serpent things. Yeah. There's pterodactyls.
Yeah, pterodactyl-looking things. It's Jurassic Park.
Where we didn't fuck it up.
Yeah. And so we just kind of like fly along for a little bit, and they're like, wow, this is cool. And then the heave in front of them blows up. Because in comes one of them pterodactyl things.
Shit.
Yeah, and they're immediately like, wow, it's so beautiful. Bang! I hate it here. So just about, like, as they're about to be eaten, Kong grabs him by the tail, and is like, nope, you're coming with me. So they flap onto Kong and just, like, use their wing to try to suffocate him, essentially.
Yeah.
But we start shooting at it, and Kong rips it off its face and starts doing that Hulk thing from Avengers, where he takes Loki and just smashes him from side to side.
Yeah, he just straight up smashes it until you can hear the bones breaking.
Yeah. It's just like,
you're
bang,
like, oh,
bang, 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 crack. And then Kong takes it, rips its head off, and then drinks the goop inside of his head like a Coke can.
Yeah.
To which the bad guy in the ship goes, oh, that was gross.
This thing is super dead and also dinner somehow.
Yeah.
But it was also real cool, guys.
Meanwhile, in the boring part of the movie, Bernie and Co. get spit out in some kind of Apex base where they seem to be testing something. They go into what almost looks like a coliseum with a bunch of big doors. And the one big door opens and out comes, like, one of these creatures. And it kind of like flops around a little bit. And then something in the middle starts rising. It is a gigantic mechanical thing. And it starts to rise from the ground very slowly and heavy. Its eyes begin to light up. And we finally see it in like its full glory as it stands up and kind of stretches out. It is giant. It is mechanical. It is a lizard. It's Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha Godzilla! Mecha Godzilla! I am so happy to see it and also deeply terrified, but mostly happy.
So Mecha Godzilla has a Neuralink with Shirazawa's kid, who is like inside King Ghidorah's head, like one of his heads.
I don't know. It's something supercomputer, science. Point is, it looks super rad.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, so Mecha Godzilla grabs this creature and just like lasers down its throat. Like it's just...
Yeah, they open, like I said, they open the pod bay doors of like door number 10.
Yeah.
And those crawler things come out and he's just like, nope.
Yeah. And they're just like, ho, it's wonderful. We did well. And it's like, sir, that was only 40% power. It's like, nonsense. We'll figure it out later. Anyway, back in the good part of the movie.
Woo!
Kong finds the throne room of his people. It's empty, but like as he walks, he kind of has this moment of reverence where he sees there's a throne in the middle, and he sees remnants of his people.
Like, how advanced was the society, though? Like,
we don't know.
Like, this is very clearly an auditorium. Yeah. Like, there are chairs, there's a throne, there is, like, it's advanced. I thought, he's a monkey. He's a giant monkey, sure. But this shows, like, architecture and shit. Like, whoa.
It seems like they are obviously intelligent enough to know sign language, which means they're capable of speech. So Kong kind of walks around in reverence. We see evidence that this war has gone back for millennia. Years and years and years and years. And Kong finds an axe.
Yeah, it's an axe.
Like a straight up axe.
It's not like, oh, this thing looks like an axe. No, this thing is an axe.
It's an axe, and it's got a plate of, like, a Godzilla skin plate. Like, it's the armor that kind of makes up Godzilla.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, they grabbed a plate of it, and they fashioned it to an axe. So Kong grabs it, and he, like, stands up, and he gives, like, a roar. He's like, yeah! Kong is home. Meanwhile, back in the uninteresting part of the movie, they find the skull of King Ghidorah, which I told you later. It's kind of using as a link to Mechagodzilla. They don't really explain why or how, but anyway.
There's like a gaming room in its skull.
Yeah, it's like a VR thing. It's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of cool, but it never really comes back. We never really see Shizera again. But yeah, whatever. Godzilla, he stomps his ass to Hong Kong.
Yep.
And they start to evacuate the city. So Hong Kong is another entrance into the Hollow Earth. So that's why they went that way.
Well, I don't think it was an entrance. I think he just punched a hole. Like, I think Godzilla...
Oh, right, because he was looking for the Apex facility. Yeah, okay,
He was looking for the Apex facility, and he was also looking for Kong. And as it works out, those two perfectly aligned.
Yeah. So, King Kong... King Kong, now.
Yeah, because King.
He's
look at
king.
him.
Kong grabs the axe and sets it down in kind of like an inlet on the floor. And it begins to draw nuclear energy from the ground, sapping it up into the axe, like it's charging up the axe. Godzilla feels this. Like, he kind of senses something is wrong. So he looks up, and he starts to charge his nuclear laser, and then fires it down into the ground, through the ground, all the way through to the center of the earth.
Yep. He's just straight up punching a hole.
I was gonna say, nobody's gonna take me to the Hollow Earth. I'm gonna find it myself. Blah!
Godzilla's a little extra.
Yeah.
But also, that raises the point that Kong's people understood technology. Like, they understood how to charge a weapon. What?
So the Apex lady back downstairs grabs herself a hunk of the power source, and she's like, we can take this. We're done now. And they're just like, no, that's wrong. And she's like, I don't care. Money. Goodbye. And Kong is like, no. Crush. Dead. She's dead.
Yeah, she uploaded the blueprints to her dad or whatever. Who cares?
The world around them begins to shake. So, these bat pterodactyl things come from the ground and just start kind of like fucking up and attacking us.
Yeah.
And there's a moment right before our main characters are about to be eaten. Boom! Beam through the floor.
Oh, dear. Oh, Lord.
And, the beam comes to the floor, and Godzilla's just like, hi!
From, like, 2 trillion miles up.
Yeah.
Be like, it's me.
So Kong is like, alright. This is today. Jumps up that sumbitch, and let's get ready for round 2. So this time, we have a gigantic lizard in Godzilla, and a big monkey with an axe.
And I am here for it.
And here we go! So, Kong starts trying to attack with the axe. We get like a first-person kind of thing a little bit. It's a little bit strange. Kong's axe can counteract Godzilla's nuclear beam. They're the same material.
Yeah, it like soaks it up.
Yeah. So Kong takes a couple of swipes. He tries to a big swing at him, but Godzilla ducks it, and it kind of grabs into the building. So Godzilla grabs it with his mouth and just hucks it at Kong. And it spins around and kind of lodges itself into the ground. So Kong keeps himself moving. He jumps from building to building to building to building because he's faster on land than Godzilla is. So he's firing off nuclear beams towards Kong, but he can't get him. So Kong grabs the top of a building and uses it as a shield to the blast. And then makes his way to his axe, using this big shield to stop himself from getting the beam. Picks up the axe and just cracks Godzilla in the head with it.
It's fucking amazing.
Just buries the axe in him. And Godzilla stumbles for a little bit and collapses to the ground, eventually passing out. 10-9 Kong.
Yeah.
At one point, somebody goes, looks like Kong won that round. And then Godzilla wakes back up, as if to say, hey.
Who's talking shit?
I didn't hear no bell. Let's go. Godzilla wakes back up, And Kong is like on top of a giant skyscraper that kind of looks like the Empire State Building, but it's not.
But it's
because we're in Hong Kong.
Yeah, we're in Hong Kong, so.
And so he just starts chucking stuff at him. Like he just starts throwing shit at Godzilla, and he's just like So Kong leaps from the building and like gets Godzilla's back, and he starts just like throwing punches from behind, trying to get him into a rear naked choke. But Godzilla uses a judo throw.
Yeah, these two titans know MMA. Let's just make that clear.
He throws Kong down onto the ground. And at this point, like, they're just throwing each other into the buildings. No more axes, no more blasts. This is a slugfest.
Yeah.
Like, they're just trading shots with each other. Godzilla uses his claws to, like, bury himself into Kong's stomach. He's just, like, slashing at it. But the king starts punching from the bottom. And then, like, he's trying to get himself out. But Kong goes and just slams his foot into... Or Godzilla slams his foot into Kong's chest. And they just, like, stand and stare at each other. And have, like, a literal screaming match.
Yeah, he starts... Like, Godzilla starts screaming at Kong, and Kong's just like, fuck you! And starts screaming back.
It's like, blah, ah! And, like, Godzilla looks at him for a little bit. Basically what's happening here is Godzilla's going, say it. Say I beat you. And he's like, say it! And Kong is like, fine! And so Godzilla lifts off his foot and begins to walk away. And Kong slowly tries to make it to his feet, as if to say... Like Jeff Hardy. Like, you haven't broke me, Taker! I'm still standing! Kong tries to make it to his feet, but he can't do it. The strength goes out from under him, and he collapses in a heap. Godzilla wins. Yet somehow there's more movie. I mean, I got what I wanted to see.
I mean, we're pretty much done here, aren't we? Like... We got the preview for the next movie. Let's go.
Let's go away.
I feel like we have spent the appropriate amount of money to see this movie. Thank you for giving us the show.
Yeah, that was dope for a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the boring part of the movie, Madison watches Mechagodzilla come to life, and they stand there like wieners and don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
While the bad guy monologues, Mechagodzilla like sneaks up on him. And he's like, he's just saying like, the evil stuff, evil bad guy stuff. And then Mechagodzilla like takes a swipe and just knocks the whole room out.
He says, oh shit, before he dies, and it's funny.
We have the one line coming from Bernie. He says, oh man, I was kind of interested in seeing how that speech ended. So yeah, that's it.
Mechagodzilla comes to life by sacrificing what's-his-name's son. Inside the skull thing.
Yeah.
Because he's super dead from electrocution.
Yep.
The link is severed, but I guess he has a consciousness now, because that's how you make AIs.
Yeah, it's like Shirazawa's consciousness is in Mechagodzilla. Like,
I don't know.
His sentience, I don't know, it's weird. But it's old school Godzilla weird.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Okay. Basically, robot's alive now.
So... Mechagodzilla is on his own, but we still have like a tethered connection to him through our computers.
Wi-Fi, I guess.
So we send Team Discovery Channel to try to hack it and do that kind of stuff. Anyway, Mechagodzilla tears a hole through the Apex place and walks out into Hong Kong and just starts fucking stuff up. Blah, just beams and crashing and destroying stuff.
And I'm like, you won, buddy. This is how I know they're both dudes. Like, what? You won.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla is just shooting stuff out of spite. And so Godzilla is just like, yeah, okay. That was my day. I'm going back. What's going on over there? And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And Godzilla's just like, all right, here we go. Ring the bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
We immediately start. Mechagodzilla jumps up and hits him with a phenomenal forearm like it's AJ Styles.
That's true, he did.
Knocking Godzilla to the ground. Mecha picks him up and grabs him by his big Godzilla head and throws him into a building head first.
Yes.
Like the way they used to do when you throw somebody against a cage in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That, but just like boom! Through a building. And just like crushing the building into dust. Gia finds the collapsed form of Kong, who is alive, but he's dying. His heart rate is slowing down. Godzilla tries to fake out the mecha by like juking him to the side, but the mech has rockets and like rocket jumps to the side.
Yeah, I have a note here that says, "Oh shit, his back has jets."
Yeah, so Mechagodzilla grabs Godzilla's tail like Super Mario 64 and just starts to like mess him up like that. Godzilla stands up and sends a nuclear blast at him, but Mechagodzilla sends his own blast at him. So we got two blue and red beams smacking each other. We have a Dragon Ball Z style beam struggle.
And I am so here for it. It's great.
And both boom, Kamehameha, and then boom, they collide into each other. But Mechagodzilla overpowers Godzilla, and the beam strikes out and hits him, sending Godzilla to the floor.
I know.
Meanwhile, the humans have hooked up the heave to Kong's heart. If they overload the heave will be destroyed, but the shock might essentially send Kong back to life.
Yeah, we're just gonna straight up power punch him to the heart.
Yeah, because this is essentially more power than Vegas needs in a week.
Yeah.
So we hook it up. Skarsgard blows up the heave and runs out, and Kong's just like, ah, I'm up. Oh, I'm up. What did I miss? I feel like I missed something. And Gia's like, look, and points to the fight, and he goes like, oh, well, that seems like a whole bunch of not my fucking problem, kid. And she signs Godzilla not enemy, Godzilla friend. To which he's just like, ha, no. Seen that, not gonna deal with it. And then she's just like, but bad guy, big metal guy bad. Gonna kill me. Save me. And so he's just like, oh, fine.
Where's my axe?
No, where's my axe? He stands up and she signs be careful, and he like gives a little smile. He stands up and then he's like, oh, and then slams his shoulder against a building.
Yeah,
his shoulder was dislocated.
He was resetting his shoulder.
It is bam. He gives it like a little massage.
Yeah.
Like, all right, picks up his axe, and away I go. So, Mechagodzilla's got Godzilla on the ground, and he's trying to pry open Godzilla's jaws. Because he's trying to do the thing where he beams down his throat, like Godzilla did to the Muto in Godzilla 2014.
And we all went, oh no.
Yeah. And so he's opening it up, and he finally gets it up, and he starts charging the beam, and incoming monkey! Woo! Out of nowhere, by God, that's King Kong's music! Kong and Godzilla both grab him by the arm, like a different arm, and then just sort of run him into a building. Mecha sends rockets into Godzilla's chest, and then like punches, straight up just like right hands him in the face. But Kong gets his axe and saves Godzilla from a tail whip, and then axes he axes Mechagodzilla a question. Mechagodzilla's tail has like a spinning screw saw blade on it.
Yeah, he has an evil tail. Because why not? I mean, if your tail has powers, why not use it?
Yeah. So, as he's about to like jam it into Kong's soul, back in the boring part of the movie. Okay,
Millie Bobby Brown and company.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown and Jordan, they're hacking into the thing, but Jordan can't get it, even though he's supposed to be this hacker, which makes him useless.
Yeah.
So there is a storyline. It's half-assed, so I didn't explain it, but I kind of need to here. Bernie had a wife who's dead. Bernie's wife gave him a flask full of alcohol. Bernie says, when this is finished, that means I'm finished. Essentially means I'm going to drink it on my last day. So he goes to take it out. He's like, oh, I can't believe I'm going to die here. Wish I would die with some adults. Millie Bobby Brown grabs it and like dumps it on the computer, which causes Mechagodzilla to short circuit, but for like a second.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi signal cut out.
Yeah. And he like stands there and buffers for a second. And Kong was like, huh, bam! So he like pushes him away. Kong takes the axe and just crushes it onto his arm and severs Mechagodzilla's arm. And then he severs Mechagodzilla's other arm. Yeah. And then he takes him out at the leg. And then he takes him out at the other leg. Yeah. And Mechagodzilla's like, it's only a flesh wound. Come here and I'll bite your kneecaps off. And then Kong takes it and just axes right through him.
Yeah.
And then finally, he jumps on the corpse. Mm-hmm. Like, he jumps on it and then axes right through his neck, ripping his head off, grabbing the head and holding it up in the sky as a trophy for his, like, victory. And just like, ah! Kong, motherfuckers!
Yeah.
Kong wins. So there's a lull for a bit. I should say, like, as Kong does the thing, he drops it, he finds a building, and just, like, slides down, and just, like, goes for a little Kong nap.
'Cause it's been a long day for the Titans.
There's a lull for a bit as all the humans find out each other's alive, and that's great. Just like, hey, good, you're alive. I'm alive too, yay.
Yay.
And then, like, Godzilla gives, like, this big roar, and everybody's like, oh, fuck, now what? And, it wakes Kong up. And he's just like, huh, what now?
And he, like, kind of wakes up like, oh, where's my axe?
Yeah, axe? He stands up, and, like, Godzilla looks at him and, like, gives the roar. And Kong is like, gives him, like, a little, acknowledging thing. They kind of have a stare down, like, Kong's got his axe in hand. And he's like, we'll do this again if you want to do this again. And, like, Godzilla gives him, like, a nod. And Kong drops the axe. They kind of give each other, like, a game recognizes game kind of nod. Just like, hey. Nice. All right. And Godzilla turns around and heads into the ocean until he is needed one last time. Godzilla calms down from whatever bug was up his butt. The bad guys all died. The good guys all survived. Madison and her friends accomplished whatever it was that was so goddamn important to them. We send Kong back home to the Hollow Earth so he can rule as in his rightful kingdom. In the rightful place where he belongs. Home. Yeah. Everyone's happy. Curtain down. Yeah, this is what I wanted.
Yep, this is the movie we wanted. This is it. Good job, guys.
Yeah, man, this one was good.
Yes.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfect movie.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a perfect movie. The human stuff is still just pointless.
But you told me that we need human stuff.
We do
to exposit to us.
But we need good human stuff. This isn't good human stuff. It's boring. Actually, the human stuff with Kong, all that kind of stuff, that was good.
But Millie Bobby Brown and, like, the evildoers and whatever. Like, you could edit her out of this movie and it wouldn't make much difference. Like...
Yeah.
Like, if you just had... What was the deaf girl's name? Gia?
Yep, Gia.
If you just had Gia do everything that Millie Bobby Brown did, it would have made a better movie. Like...
Yeah, honestly, like, they barely interact with Godzilla. Like, they do the Mechagodzilla thing, but you can have anybody do that. Like, I think the only reason they're here is to have a tenuous connection to Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Really?
Yeah, because they're really the only characters that cross over.
That's true.
And you don't need it. Like, I understand this is a sequel, but, like, this is a Godzilla film. We don't need like deep lore.
True. Giant little lizard smish.
Lizard smish. But yeah, this one, this is what I wanted. It's an hour and 53 minutes. If you take out, like, the Millie Bobby Brown stuff. And she's a good actress.
Yeah, like, let's not undersell the fact that she's a great actress.
Yeah, this isn't their fault. Like, Brian Tyree Henry is a good actor. I don't know that other guy, but he was solid.
Yeah. But they were given nothing to work with.
They were given nothing to work with. They were given just nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely pointless addition. And it's a shame because they were talented. But yeah, it's just the fight scenes were great. It was all during the day. Which is nice.
So you can see stuff.
It was in the day or it was in neon lit Hong Kong.
Yeah.
which is just like, because in Godzilla and in a little bit in Return of the Monsters, or King of the Monsters rather, it's all at night and it's very dark and it's very like hard to see. So yeah, this is kind of the one. This one was worth it.
Yes.
This one was worth the wait.
Get a vaccine so you can go see it.
Yeah, I kind of wish we saw this in theaters. That would have been nice.
In an alternate universe where there's no pandemic, we did.
Yeah, we did. But I think I'm gonna go 8.5 on this
I
one.
was thinking about that. Like 8 to 9, something like that. It loses points for pointless human nonsense.
I was gonna say I can't give it, like, 8 seems too low, but 9 seems too high.
Really? Because I was willing to give it a 9.
You want to give it a 9?
Yeah.
So I got an 8.5. You got a 9. Work it out to an 8.75.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Because the pointless human nonsense is pointless human nonsense. We're not here for you guys.
Absolutely. But I do hope that they keep this series going.
Yes.
Godzilla and Kong, like, these are things you can keep going in perpetuity.
Yes.
You don't need a whole lot. You don't need, like, as long as it keeps making money, which this one clearly did.
Yeah.
Like, just keep it going, because we don't, the bar for the script is not very high.
No. It's monster fights monster. That's all we want.
Is that a big monster? Yes? Cool. Do we have a Godzilla? Yes? Cool. Fuck 'em up. The human stuff is always the least interesting part.
Yeah.
And it is here too. So yeah, that's Godzilla versus Kong. Overall, like,
It's great.
I think this series is a good start.
You think so?
Yeah. Like, I don't think we don't need a King Ghidorah film, and we don't need a film for every monster. Just keep giving me Godzilla versus. Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. Godzilla versus Mecha King Ghidorah. Godzilla versus Jet Jaguar.
So you basically just want all the names to be poster fights. Like,
yeah, why not? Godzilla versus Baby Yoda. Godzilla versus...
no, Baby Yoda's got this. It's fine.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Godzilla's fucking son.
Godzilla Jr.
Yeah. I can't remember the Godzilla's son's name.
Is it not Godzilla Jr.?
No, I don't think so. It had a dumb name.
Baby Zilla?
Yeah, whatever it was.
I don't know.
You know, give me Godzilla versus, like, 1998 Godzilla. That'd be fun to me.
What's that thing called? A Royal Rumble versus Godzilla's?
Yeah, give me a Royal Rumble of Godzillas. Godzilla destroy all monsters. Keep doing that, and I'll be a happy man. Also, I want to see Kong more.
Yes.
I think we can keep Kong going, too. That's an interesting plot. I like where he's set. So, yeah, this is good. I don't see this as being the end. You know? This isn't the final shot. I think we'll be here again.
Yes.
And if we are, we will do the sequel. We will continue as we go.
Yes, we will.
But as of right now, that is the end of the Monsterverse series, which means we are done with yet another series.
Yes.
So where do we go from here? We've done Fast and the Furious. We've done Men in Black. We've done Big Monsters. Now we go to Men in Black. A different man and a different... play the trailer. Shut
Roll
up.
tape!
You've stripped it from me. Whatever is left of me. Whatever I am. I'm yours.
The only question remains. Will you yield? In time?
Arm yourself, because no one else here can save you. We are doing the Daniel Craig James Bond series. We are starting at Daniel Craig, because if we did all of them, we'd be here forever. And
Yeah, it'd just be a podcast about
James
007.
Bond. That would just be here for 28 episodes.
It would never end.
It would never end. So we are doing the Daniel Craig because it is technically a reboot of the timeline, and it's coming to an end later this year in October with No Time to Die. Finally, we get to see it. It is Daniel Craig's big goodbye. So we are going to honor him by doing, I believe we are at 4 movies. Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre. 4.
And I've only seen Skyfall.
I did it. And I have seen everything but Spectre. So
We'll see how this goes.
yeah, I love Casino Royale. One of the best James Bond movies ever made. And Skyfall is like even better than that.
It's so good, guys. Skyfall is so good.
So I'm hyped. It's going to be an interesting time. But that is for next week. For now, we are done here. And I think this was a good one.
Yes.
All right. Kids, should they watch The Thing?
Definitely watch The Thing. Go get a vaccine. Go watch The Thing. Watch it twice.
Watch it twice. Get it wherever you can. Be
Yeah.
safe out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
What are you doing here? Go watch the movie. Bye.